Vaush, do you plan to continue the media recommendation list you have? I genuinely have found so many amazing games like Disco Elysium and Tunic on it.
I just assume nobody looked at that. I probably should update it. I mostly do it to remind myself of what I've
Vaush,
done.
have you gotten into any new manga recently?
I want to read Witch Hat Atelier. I'm trying to read stuff that's already been finished. I read Dandadan, which I enjoyed very much at first and then less so over time. They're making an anime adaptation for it. I'm sure it'll be a bop. I should reread Dorohedoro and Berserk for the 50th time. My Hero Academia just finished. Yeah. I hated My Hero Academia. Maybe I should watch it just because people are like... Or read it because people are making fun of the ending. Does Dandadan ever get less cringy than the first chapter? I didn't find Dandadan that cringy because I understood what it was going for and I felt like it was self-aware. I actually think Dandadan has a really, really, really charming and cute interpersonal dynamic at its center. The problem is they stop developing it meaningfully after a little while. They're like, oh, you know, we've gotten this far with this cute dynamic. Now we're kind of done. Where is the One Piece? Does anyone else think they info dumped too much in the Egg Island arc a little bit so far? Like, I feel like they could have done a little bit more to space up the development and not it be like, here's 47 chapters where a bunch of action is being introduced only to break up a massive dump of information. I kind of like, okay, all right. This isn't like a strongly held opinion of mine, you know.
My Hero Academia is good actually. It's an entire anime based around the concept of autistic optimism.
I'm really sorry, I didn't like it, and I watched like 3 seasons of it. Because I'm stupid. But it's been a while. Do you still watch The Boys? No. The Boys started like annoying me really badly. Why'd The Boys start annoying you? I think the older I've gotten, the less I appreciate shock value. I think I still like it even in some, like, Garth Ennis stuff, I guess, like Preacher. You can see good versions of it sometimes, but it has to be balanced out with a lot of earnestness, and The Boys just never had the earnestness balancing it out. Everything's negative and grim, and ooh, it's gory, and oh, I bet you didn't think we'd do that. The comic was like that, but even worse. The show has better writing than the comic. I've seen a good portion of the comic. I've read a good portion of the comic before the show even came out, and like the show is a better version of the comic, but the bones are still there. It's just cynical and mean-spirited. It's one of the reasons why I think that yeah, I think Invincible is better, and it's one of the reasons why I think that Smiling Friends hits a lot of Rick and Morty beats, but better, because Rick and Morty is cynical and mean-spirited, where Smiling Friends, in spite of being pretty edgy and shocking, is actually pretty sincere and earnest. And I think that makes all the difference. I don't get the earnestness vibe at all from... How far in the show did you get? I watched 2 seasons. I didn't watch the 3rd season. Smiling Friends is one of the least funny things I've ever seen. Oh, hey, Pon Curtis. The handler who lets you use 30 minutes of internet time as long as you're well behaved. Could you tell her that I don't want you here? Like, can she hear? Do you have the speakers out, like, unplugged? I think they need to go back in the room. Can you... What's your screen name? Fuck, you already scrolled chat. Have you watched any animated shows recently not anime? What's the one? Scavenger's Reign? That one's pretty PogChamp. Why are so many incel loner types so attracted to Dark Souls and anything that features the solo warrior archetype? I just think that games where you explore a big spooky world as an isolated individual with no understanding of what's going on tend to be appealing to people who are kind of feeling a little bit lonely, you know? Like, it's not as though trans chicks don't fucking love Dark Souls, you know? They're always talking about that shit. Ooh, I'm playing Bloodborne while my estrogen's getting injected, you know? Ooh, I'm playing Elden Ring. What else do they like to do? Well, I'm eating out of a dog bowl. You know, they're always on about this crap. We do say this. I know you do. It's inescapable. My trans femme ex was obsessed. Yeah, well. Trans femme. What even is this? Femme mask, trans femme, have we not just woked our way into genders with non-binary people? It's like, oh, my non-binary trans femme part. Oh, you mean like your... What? What do you mean by that? I said that because it relates to how you said trans women. That's alright. Gender terms aren't meant to make sense, okay? Gender was not placed in this earth to make sense. What's your opinion on Terraria? I've been playing Terraria with my partner. It's their first time, and they have been absolutely delighted by, like, digging tunnels. We're making a big apartment building for all the NPCs, even though we're still on, like, platinum gear, so we only have 3 NPCs. It's a huge apartment building. Do you have strong opinions on Gon from Hunter x Hunter, like, personality-wise? Yeah, he's an amazing character. Gon has so much more depth. Gon and Killua both, and then basically any other shonen protag. Gon is such an inhuman freak, in a way that, like, so many mangaka are cowards, and they want to have a main character who's morally gray or hard to relate to, but they can't really commit to it, so they just make them, like, edgy or whatever. It's bullshit. Gon is genuinely terrifying. You want a hit? You know I can ask for one, Social Psych Explainer. I'm not a vampire that needs to be invited into a house. I can walk through that doorway if I want. Vaush isn't an immortal parasite. Anyone else thinking, when they're playing Sekiro, immortality and all I need to do is have a gigantic centipede in me? Okay. Serve it up. All you need to do is find somebody who has that, like, bug infestation kink. You ever seen art like that, where it's like, they're goonin', and they're full of bugs? Can't say I like it myself, but you take a motherfucker like that, immortality is like a double treat to them. Oh god, I had a friend into that. I don't respect it. I don't respect it, and I don't want to be a part of it. But I think they would enjoy the immortality. I love the Souls games, but the immortality being a curse thing always kind of annoys me. It's a huge, like, theme in the world.
We just had an earthquake here.
Immortality is a curse skill issue. Give it to me. I just think Miyazaki is working through some shit. Every fucking game from Miyazaki is just like, you know, you wouldn't want to be immortal, trust me. You wouldn't want to be immortal, it'll turn you into a hollow undead. You wouldn't want to be immortal, you'd be possessed by a centipede and live out like a puppet's life with no real control over yourself. You wouldn't want to be immortal, because without, like, the cycle of life and rebirth under the air tree, you'll be like a shambling husk. You know? Somebody offered him immortality. He's trying to convince himself he didn't need it. Yeah. I think that the immortality is bad is a very common trope at this time. Unironically, I think part of it is because I think we're actually getting close to medical immortality. Not, like, real immortality, but my understanding is that we genuinely have done a lot of work when it comes to gene science and the specifics on, like, the way the telomeres run out, like, all that business. Certainly we have a grasp on it, more so than we did before. Not even close. No, like, seriously, it wasn't that long ago we had, like, no idea what aging even was. And only very recently, not only do we know what it is now, like, in a literal sense with the cell replication, but we know that that process of cell replication and its denigration can be influenced chemically from the outside. I mean, that's like we're like tampering with the fundamentals, you know? Now, I'm not saying we're all going to be immortal tomorrow. I'm just saying I think it's something that we're very reasonably starting to consider more of a viable possibility. Okay, just tell me where the fucking bomb is. Oh, yeah, hung on. I'm just talking about, like, biological immortality. Like, obviously, a hammer to the head will kill anyone ever. Nah, brains can't renew cells. I mean, not yet. Just inject some stem cells directly into your brain. Easy. Think about it, dumbass.
Would you rather be immortal but you know you'll drop dead randomly one day, or live to 100 years old knowing you die on your 100th birthday exactly?
The former, because that's how I already live, but I'd get the immortality, so potentially... I don't want to have a set time limit. That sounds horrible. I mean, I guess it would depend on the random chance, but if I knew too much... Having someone else's cells is gross AF. This motherfucker's never swallowed a load.
Okay, Vaush, big brain time. Would you eat a devil fruit? If yes, which one?
Well, I feel like for a guy like me, who doesn't go into the ocean, a devil fruit's just a straight upside, you know? A devil fruit's a pretty dangerous thing to have if you're a sailor. If you're just a guy living a normal day-to-day life, I feel like it's not as big of a deal. What one would I want, though? I think Smoker's power is really cool. It's any waist deep water, not a big difference, but it is one. Yeah, but, like, I don't even think that would be an issue for me. You can never swim again, at least not more than just wading in water, but you have... The power scaling in One Piece is crazy. These motherfuckers are destroying entire cities, you know? Which one would I want? I don't know. Garp? Lol? Garp doesn't have a devil fruit. He's just strong as fuck. Yeah, wait. You can just get strong as fuck, right? Like, Law Fruit, Op Fruit. That's too big brain. Law makes the Op Fruit look cool because he's smart and it's a comic, but I feel like you'd pull retard moves with that one all the time. You know what I mean? Kind of like Boogie Woogie in Jujutsu Kaisen, where it looks awesome when the guy who's pulling it off has 3,000 IQ, and then you try to pull it off, and it's like, you just, like, teleport the enemy to right in front of you as they're extending their fist to punch you.